Hey people, it is Sunday, March the 31st, which is also Easter Sunday. So happy Easter to all those who celebrate, or by the time you see this, who have celebrated. And it is currently 8:10 p.m. and about 7 degrees Celsius. I am on Yonge Street here in Midtown Toronto, or Uptown Yonge as it's also known, in the Yonge and Eglinton neighborhood. So we're looking south down Yonge towards the intersection of Yonge and Eglinton. And I don't often find myself in this neighborhood in the evening, let alone on a Sunday evening, on a holiday. So I thought I would take a walk here, zigzagging through the streets of Yonge and Eglinton, from Yonge Street, heading east over to one of the cross streets. I haven't decided yet. And then I'll just zigzag my way back and forth down to Eglinton Avenue. So this is Broadway Avenue we're currently on. Not to be confused with Manhattan Broadway. They don't really resemble each other at all. There are quite a few new tall towers, though, springing up in the neighborhood here, as you can see.
So yeah, you.
This is one of the fastest growing neighborhoods in the city when it comes to new construction. Most of it is high-rise residential, mostly condominiums. It is a full-service neighborhood with almost everything you need. There's very little reason to go downtown if you live at Yonge and Eglinton. St. Monica's School across the street. Here's an athletic field. I think that's for a high school. The name of the high school is right here. I was trying to remember it. North Toronto Collegiate Institute. Once upon a time, this area was mostly referred to as North Toronto. That mostly is in use a bit further north now, if you go up closer to Lawrence Avenue. So it's a mix of these old 1960s and 70s slab rental apartment buildings, and then this new wave of modern glass condominiums, which has transformed the neighborhood even more in the last 10 to 15 years. What was already a dense neighborhood is extremely dense now.
I used to live in a building where it was 50 floors, but only 4.
And in the hopefully near future, a new rapid transit line will be opening along Eglinton Avenue. The Eglinton Crosstown line, which is line 5. New towers rising side by side here. even behind there's another tower. And the intersection of Yonge and Eglinton itself is one of the busiest intersections in the city in terms of pedestrian traffic. And we're quite far from downtown here. It's a good hour walk to the south to the northern end of downtown. And well over an hour and a half, or even closer to 2 hours to walk all the way down to Lake Ontario. City Lights on Broadway. They're really milking the Broadway street name, and we're not even on Broadway right now. We're now heading south on Redpath Avenue. And another YouTuber you might have heard of calls this neighborhood home, Mr. Johnny Strides. I jokingly refer to this area as Strides Land. You might have heard that once or twice. And maybe you call it that yourself. And before I head back towards Yonge Street, let's take a look at some of this bizarre public art here. That car is driving without its lights on. No headlights. Well, make of that what you will. And he has some friends across the street. A bit creepy, but I like it. All right, let's make our way back westward over to Yonge Street. think this is Roehampton we're currently walking along. Because I recognize this apartment building across the street, this older one here, this older, shorter one. Because this building, if I'm not mistaken, was used in the opening credits of the SCTV television show, which ran from the 1970s into the 80s. If you remember those opening credits, as the theme song played, television sets were tossed from the balcony on the upper floor of the apartment building. And that is the very same building. So cue the SCTV theme and you can just visualize those TV sets flying off the balcony. Of course, that was in the daytime. That's 100 Roehampton is the address of that building. Got more art here. I didn't notice these in any of my previous walks through the area. These are a lot more easy on the eyes than those other pieces. Looks like this older apartment building is slated to be replaced with a new 50-story tower. I'd be a bit nervous if I lived in one of the older apartment buildings in this neighborhood for that very reason. It's a fairly substantial building. And most likely it will no longer exist. And everyone will, of course, have to be relocated during construction. But the deal is the current tenants will be offered a unit in the new building, paying the same rent that they're currently paying. And here's a beautiful old walk-up apartment. I don't know if this redevelopment includes both of these properties. I didn't look at the rendering. And we're almost back at Yonge Street. Back to the busy main drag. Yonge-Eglinton Center across the street. Office complex and shopping mall. Looks like the cinemas are open. I think the rest of the mall is closed though at this time on a Sunday, especially Easter Sunday. BMV Books, very good used bookstore location. And they offer some new books as well. And oftentimes comic books and DVDs. And still a little bit of construction fencing here on this corner. Most of the other remnants of the crosstown rapid transit have been removed from the intersection. So now we're on Eglinton Avenue. We're heading east. So it's a busy commercial street through this section. This car is going to backfire. Sounds like one of those backfiring cars. Kettleman's Bagel. Looks like the burrito place is closed. Well, this is looking a lot better than it did last time. It's much more open now. Hopefully it won't be much longer before this last remaining signs of construction are all wrapped up. Canton Ramen. They're opening locations all over the city now, including in the heart of downtown. Huge retail podium here. It's like a large Loblaws and several other retailers. A pretty handy place to live. Good name for a coffee shop. This is quite nice here. Lighting up an otherwise dull alleyway. I think I've only ever come by here at night during a live stream, never while recording a pre-recorded video. Alright, let's cross and head down this residential side street here. I've actually never walked through there before. I'm going to continue the zigzag style here. Quite a lot of oncoming traffic. They're turning. This might be my chance. Or maybe not. And I made it across in one piece. There's the 34 Eglinton bus. I imagine once the crosstown rapid transit train is in service, Eglinton Avenue will still be served by buses, but probably not as frequently. So this is Lillian Street, a street I've never walked down before. Interesting. I wonder how far I can go along here. You can see a car making its way down there. I'm kind of curious. I think I might have to check it out. So now we're behind the Loblaws that we saw from Eglinton Avenue. I don't want to go back onto Eglinton. So can I continue further east through here? Looks like I can. I wonder if it'll take me all the way to Yonge Street. Hopefully I won't hit a dead end and have to turn around. Oh, I do see a street there. Maybe not all the way to Yonge, but at least to another cross street. And I found an old-fashioned phone booth. It doesn't have a door, though, to pull closed. If it did, that might have been the last of its kind in the city. I think there are still a few other ones that I've seen actually around town. So it looks like I can't continue on this way, unfortunately. So let's head down to the next street. It should take us back over to Yonge Street, around the bend up ahead, hopefully. This is Holly Street. Another street I have never been on before. Some interesting views of the neighborhood from here. I can see Yonge Street through here. I wonder if I can walk through this pathway over all these rocks. I know I can just continue on and follow the streets, but it seems like more fun to do it this way. It's a bit of an adventure. Is there a fence up ahead, though, blocking my way? I might have to jump it if there is. And these rocks are not easy to walk on. They're large stones. but it looks like the coast is clear. Make sure I don't get run down by a car here. It's like a laneway. And that's Yonge Street right up ahead. I think we're walking under the Minto Towers here. Made it. I don't know if I can get across the street or not. Maybe I'll just go to the lights over there. It's very busy here. Everyone's trying to get in and out of this parking area, I suppose. So I want to make my way over to the subway over here. What is this huge crowd? I hope nothing happened to the subway service. So I'm going to head right into Eglinton Station. Push the button. I think someone already pushed it. So looking north now towards Yonge-Eglinton. Well, I don't see any indication that anything's wrong with the subway service here. Just a whole lot of people are just getting off here and waiting for a bus across the street. Maybe the trains aren't running north of Eglinton because they're on the northbound side waiting for the bus. Well, I guess I'll find out when I head inside. So I'm going to start to wrap up this walk. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed. A walk around the Yonge-Eglinton area where I zigzagged across various residential streets and through an interesting back alley that I'd never walked through before. So, if you enjoyed, be sure to leave a comment below. Or if you didn't, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also make sure you hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. If you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store. Or you can also support the channel by sending a super thanks, or by becoming a channel member. And you can find me on Instagram also under KContinuum. So thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members. And be sure to keep checking back because, as always, I will continue.